It is live. Well, yes.
Oh no!
If you just use a Mac, man, it works. Can you sit center?
I got to figure out where center is. Hang on. There we go. All right.
Center.
Do I look better?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see myself. Where's the preview on this version of Skype? Jeez, it's been so long since I used Skype.
I will tell you. All right. So this is the first time we streamed live to YouTube. And I'm using the same software, but the reason I wanted to have this conversation and do it live is because I want to compare notes with you. Well, I mean, obviously, yep. I have an ask. And I figure I am not the only person that has this series of questions, so let's just record it and let's just nerd it up, I guess. So
sounds good to me.
Oh, it is there. Let's see. Say something. This is a test. It is a test. Okay, so I am using a $20 piece of software. Oh, that is really delayed. I'm looking to see where the comments come through.
Oh, on YouTube Live? Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Got it. So this little piece of software that I have allows you to... Yeah, I don't even know how I would see the comments. That's weird. Top of chat. Huh. All right. So, okay. So my ask of you is this. So let me set it up. My ask of you is this. I want to do... We're obviously doing a bunch of live streaming. Yep. In fact, we're doing it daily, which is learning a lot. It's something that I want to continue to do. Like, we've got a few weeks booked on this. I don't see why we won't continue to get more and more weeks booked. Okay, so I see him there, but I don't see him in my software. That's kind of sucky.
I figured I'd send one just to see what happened.
Yeah, so I see the comments. Yeah, I see them in the YouTube thing, but I don't actually see them in Ecamm. So when I'm... All right, we'll come back to that. Okay, so my ask of you is to help us either do this, you help me run it, whatever. When we get to that conference in August, I would like to see us do some Twitch stuff or other service. I don't know that necessarily Twitch is the correct destination. It doesn't really matter. But I'd like to see us not only have like the keynotes, but maybe a few rooms. I plan to record some Ask That at that conference. And so there's a whole lot of gear, questions, infrastructure, network, software that's in there. And so what I have done today, I like this. So what I have done today is, if I share this, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let's see.
Nothing like testing in production, right?
Yeah, totally. And of course.
Ooh. So I'm cheating because I'm looking. I have the YouTube stream up on my other screen. So.
Yeah. Okay. Show current. Okay, so you see secondary display. That's the wrong one. Primary display. Okay. Oh, but that's right. I gotta move this. Yeah. See, now I don't even know what you can see.
Right now, I'm seeing your desktop with nothing else besides me down in the corner of that conference logo because I'm watching the live stream over here.
Yeah, what you can't see is the Ecamm. Okay, there's the Ecamm stuff. So this is all Ecamm, and like in Facebook land, like I see all the comments and everything come, and I can respond to them. I can do that whole 9 yards there. Now, I was able to come and put my YouTube stream in. Actually, will you say something? Oh yeah, you're there. The YouTube stream key in, and so that's how we're streaming over the YouTube now.
Yep.
This is pretty simplistic, although it absolutely. So we're working because your. It's so interesting. If I just share my. Okay, there you go. That's weird. But it just doesn't show my. That's interesting. Oh, it's funny. It doesn't show the eCam stuff, but it shows you looking at you, looking at you, looking at you. So this will take the Skype feed right in, right, and it just magically works, which is pretty fantastic. So I guess my question to you is, I know there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can do this. You were mentioning XSplit earlier. I've looked through some of them. Some are super expensive. Some are not.
Some are free.
Some are free. I mean, this was This was $20. Like that's how much I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at all the gamers that are streaming today, right? There's typically two platforms. There's OBS and there's XSplit. OBS being the free one, XSplit being somewhat ridiculously expensive depending on which version you buy, right?
Okay.
OBS cross-platform, Mac and Windows. I think they even work on Linux. XSplit Windows only, right? Benefit of paid product, you get support, plugins, all that stuff, but primarily everybody's using OBS, and you can feed it multiple camera feeds, you can feed it screen shares, you can feed it. So like if you wanted to cheat and do a Skype call and still pull it in, you can just literally, if you have enough monitors, you can literally just say, I want this part of my screen and put it into XSplit. So it gives you lots of options. Plus you can multicast. So you can, cast to Facebook and Twitch and YouTube all at the same time if you want to.
But only one stream.
No, I can multi-stream with XSplit today.
No, I mean.
Yeah, only one stream. Yeah, one account, one stream. Yeah.
Right. So in a period of 15 rooms, I can only do one room.
Correct. You only can do one room.
Is there an option? All right. Is there an option to do multiples? Is there something that you could do multiples? Let me ask the more broad question.
Yeah, if you wanted to push yourself to the limits and stream them all the streams. I don't actually know if I have an option off the shelf. I think you're getting into broadcast mode then, which means you're getting into particular hardware for it.
Does Twitch take more than?
Twitch takes one stream. It's one setup. Yeah, you can stream one thing at a time.
Are there other services like a Twitch that have multi-stream?
Yes. I don't know of them all off the top of my head. I'd have to go look and research actually on my own too.
Yeah, it was just a bit of a question, really.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean
what would be interesting though? What if right? You'd have to figure out how you can do it because YouTube's the same way, right? You only can have one live stream at a time.
If you think about that.
Yeah, so if you had multiple, I wonder if you had multiple channels, like say under your account you have channel that conference room 1, that conference room 2, if you could potentially broadcast all of those to different channels at the same time. I don't know if under one account whether you can broadcast multiple channels like that, because if you could,
wait, you're saying like YouTube channel, like we have.
Correct.
15 different accounts.
Or basically multiple channels under whatever, yeah. So, I mean, if you had multiple channels, you should theoretically be able to broadcast each channel.
Sure.
And then at that point, if you wanted to bring it into one home, it's an HTML, it's a website with here's room 1, room 2, room 3, and it's just hooked up to that live channel.
Well, I guess you could do that to Twitch too then, right?
Yeah, the multiple account thing might get you into.
Oh, really?
problems.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, most people who are broadcasting like on Twitch, right? It's them, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now you can have your friends broadcast and those kind of things to fill in for your stream while you're gone, but it's really one stream. It's not a multi-stream style thing. So.
So then, what's the hardware involved in this stuff? I mean,
I'm using
a MacBook. I'm using a MacBook, a fancy Logitech camera, and an external mic. Well, I guess in the AirPods too, because unlike you, I can't be tied down, baby. It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah. The big key is it's you need a computer in which you can stream out of, and you need some way to get the audio, whether it's lapel mic into a receiver, what have you, right? Or if you have an output, you have the outputs in the room, so you might be able to get away with that. Into the PC, and then it's camera setup, whether that's USB cameras or whether you want to go actual production style cameras, what have you, right?
Yeah.
Your inexpensive route is a bunch of Logitech cameras and a computer in which you can hook up to stream out of. Otherwise, I mean, if you wanted to, you could get into broadcast equipment, but that's gonna run some money.
Well, and we'd still be limited by the output that's there. So, I mean, kind of what I'm hearing is the best thing that we could do is try to have a location that's kind of hardcore setup, which obviously we have the production crew in. So, although we have some lighting issues on that main stage, I guess what I'm hearing is maybe setting that up and trying to reuse that room the best possible is the best.
Yeah, I mean, probably. Yeah, I mean, as far as your light situation, you might as well, at that point, you might want to feed a DSLR as your primary camera because you'll get better low light out of it. Than any of the Logitech cameras even.
No. We actually, that's actually wasn't where I was thinking of the production crew and their cameras.
The production crews and their cameras. Yeah.
We had a lighting issue I don't know if you go back and look at the keynotes, we just didn't quite have enough light. So it's a little grainy, which, notwithstanding, we should have done a better kind of upfront tech check with that. But we spend a lot of money on that, right? And so if I can make that more multi-purpose, then that's great, right? Because I already have cameras that I'm paying for that are sitting there all day long. I already have an audio engineer. So really what I'm hearing is somebody running a live stream and being able to switch camera feeds. And so we're talking multiple, I don't know, maybe, well, they have multiple cameras, so multiple camera angles. But then the computer stream or the stream of the slides.
Yeah, I mean, you'd want to. I mean, you definitely want to get the screen share of the slides and then the video feed, and you could do overlay, right? So I mean, you could set up scenes and like if we wanted to just let's say keynote as an example, right? If we can get a feed from the video from the broadcast crew, you can get an audio feed off the audio rig into a stream computer. If you have multiple cameras already shooting, you could probably bring all those feeds in, depending on how they're streaming. If they're doing it over IP, you could potentially hook up to the IP stream, and then you could literally have different exchanges where you have the person on stage and the slides behind them, and then go to only slides or go full screen on the presenter based on what's going on with the camera, all through like OBS or through like XSplit, either piece of software you can set up those scenes, right, and then just switch scenes, because that video feed could be on all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this Ecamm stuff has scenes.
Yeah, same thing. Ecamm will have the same thing.
I'm not saying to use Ecamm. Like, I think it has its own. It's good. I'm surprised with how good it is for what it costs, but I don't know.
I was looking at TriCast. I wanted to see what they had for options.
Well, I was looking at the Twitch stuff, and.
Yeah, because there's, I mean, I mean, like get into professional grade broadcasting, you're into things like the TriCaster as an option and Blackmagic and all those things, right?
And what are we talking money wise on those?
It depends on how far you want to go.
Well, sure, but what's entry
thousands
level?
or thousands of dollars?
Yeah, okay. So you're not getting in without dropping a G.
No. Yeah, you're not. You're dropping $1,000 typically, or dang close to it. Yeah, so trying to think what their lowest product is.
But what's the benefit to doing that? Like, what am I getting by?
You're gonna that gives you everything in a box, right? It's all contained. All your switching is physical. It's not software, and it's curtailed just for that. So,
how are you interfacing with the device?
That'll either go over IP or you go through SDI or HDMI,
video, okay, yeah,
full video cables.
Sure.
So, I was trying to figure out what their smaller rig was because I know they make a smaller one. Let's see if I can find it quick. How fast can I do searches? What is my Google foo? Yeah, you're talking. Yeah, I mean, you're in. I mean, you're in a couple grand. Now you could rent. That's another option, right? You could rent some gear instead of purchase.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the TriCaster Mini is you're still even renting. You're probably at about $1,000 renting even.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you want to go if you want to go multi-space, you're talking a lot of horsepower, right? Because, I mean, if you look at the streamers that are out there that are doing gaming streaming, they're running two machines, typically. They're running their game rig, and then they're feeding their game rig into another computer that's basically almost another game rig to do the video processing. Because they don't want to drop frame rate on their game. They want the 90 frames per second or higher.
Sure.
And then at the same time, they want to feed, sometimes 4K video out now. You're killing a machine, right? So you basically, what ends up happening is a streamer gets popular. They take their gaming machine and make it their streaming machine because it already has enough hardware in it. Put in a Elgato capture card, and then they build a new gaming rig, right?
Oh, so that's where the capture card comes in.
That's where the capture card. Yeah. So you'll see people that are using like capture cards coming off game consoles too, right? So, and that's where Elgato comes in. And then people that are really going hardcore on Twitch are using stuff like the Stream Deck, which basically gives you the button interface that you can switch your scenes and have your overlays pop whenever you want to by hitting one button.
What's that called?
It's the Stream Deck. It's made by Elgato as well. It's another product that they make.
I think you showed me that before.
Yep.
Another IoT device that everybody wants.
Yeah, this is so if you go into, I think it's in gaming. Yeah, Stream Deck is the product from Elgato. So, and it's like a OLED buttons that you can put your own artwork on and all that good stuff and hook them up to, it's basically creating macro keys for you.
Sure.
OBS has the integration to it, and so does XSplit. So, yeah, I mean, it's horsepower, man. Video feed is not easy on a machine. So the stream part isn't too bad, but it's doing all the compression on the box to get it out the stream. So.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly have the network bandwidth.
Yep.
I got straight 100 bits right out the place. So.
I mean, so you want in an ideal world, you want to do all the session rooms or a subset of the session rooms, or?
I mean, right now, what I want to do is I want us to get Ask That, like the daily Ask That, better and better, and I'd like to be able to take it to that conference and also be able to share some of what's at that conference. And if that means we have one thing that we set up, like I'm cool with that. Like I want to set that bad boy up as good as it can be, and us figure out how to like properly run it. But I need to know like what that setup looks like, and I don't mind investing the money for it. Like I get that it takes horsepower and whatnot. What I want it to be is like on lock. It's seamless. Everybody understands, like, that's cool. Like, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a schedule and a thing, and we're going to stick to that. And if I can reuse the stage that we already spend a ton of money on, like, that's good because that's a nice backdrop, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That makes my investment there even better.
Yeah, got it.
I know we've gone down this path of, like, recording all the sessions and trying to come up with that, and the reality is that's just too damn much. There's 15 rooms, there's 18 rooms, so you're talking 18 cameras, you're talking terabytes upon terabytes of data, you're talking about massive amounts of editing time to just do what we've committed to do. It would take a giant crew to do that. And I know everybody always says, "Oh, we could just go in there with a GoPro and we could do that." And it's like, yeah, and then it looks half-assed and you can't really hear it, and like the effort to even edit this stuff off of like a GoPro versus like you haven't really changed. You made the part that everybody watches terrible, and you still have all the work that you have to do to make it just terrible.
Yeah, so let's think basic, right? So if you're going to go basic and you wanted to set up just like session rooms, right? You need some version of a PC running at least one camera. It could be on sticks, right? You could have a camera on sticks. Take one of the Logitechs, what have you, put it on sticks so that it's stationary, that it has enough angle to see where the speaker maybe walk around because they're not going to stand still.
Sure.
And you set up one scene where you're feeding in the feed that's coming in from the presentation booth, so you can get the slides, and then you overlay the person, and you have two scenes really, right? Yep. And you just swap back and forth between the two scenes.
Sure.
And that's probably your easiest like option right out of the gate, right? You don't have to do any editing. You can live stream it and do local recording at the same time. That way, if the live stream fails, what have you, you have a local copy of the whole recorded session.
Yeah.
We have to figure out how you'd get audio in from the room. If there's they've got to have an output in those rooms at the Kalahari, I would guess. So, and then you probably don't need that much processing power for that, right? Because you're not doing anything else on the box. If you're doing one stream out of the box to one service, whatever it may be, you're looking at a much smaller computer to do that.
What about if we were to just record it?
Yep, you could do that too.
No, I mean like what where. So now we've taken a computer out. What are we using to just drop the bits down?
So you're if you want to just record it, I mean, you could go. I mean, you have to go camera, but you want to get the slides too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess you're right. Like the overlay of the person would be nice.
Yeah.
Right. And
so, being able to see the speaker, right?
Yep.
I mean, otherwise, you could put a camera on sticks if it's at the right place where you can see the person and the slide deck, and you can adjust the camera to get where you need to be, so you can get both. That'd be, but if you want to get a little bit more professional grade, you'd sort of want to have some option there at least.
Yeah. I mean,
the keynote you'd want to do something where you have a multi-camera setup, and you're probably live switching.
Yep.
And you can have that record local while you're streaming at the same time. I do that. When I do my anything on Twitch, I'm always recording local too. And that way I can, if I want to, I can take clips out of it and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Locally.
Yeah, totally.
So you can do that easily. So.
And I mean, we've already got the cameras. I mean, you've seen that set up. I mean, part of it is just getting them the requirements to say, look, guys, like we're coming at you like a spider monkey, and y'all better be ready.
And that's why I was saying, like, getting into, like, if you could find an inexpensive video switcher, it takes a lot of the techie, geeky software side problems that you can run into away, because you just feed all the HDMI inputs into this device. And yes, you have one monitored output, but you have buttons for which camera you want to go to, which one you want on, if you want overlay, all that stuff. It's just physical interface. It's like sort of like DJs nowadays, where they just really push a button half the time. Sorry, DJ friends that are out there that actually and still
actually do
it. It's pretty easy to line up sound waves, though. I'm just saying. But I mean, so that would be that's the cleanest, easiest way. And if you don't need many for you. You probably don't at least even need for that. You probably don't need too many inputs. I mean, how many cameras are you running?
Yeah,
how many cameras in the Cruise? Usually two. So you need at bare minimal 3 inputs.
Right.
Because you want one input for the slide decks. You want that feed in. You want the 2 video feeds.
Yeah.
So you need a 3 input video switcher with an output on it. Potentially 2 outputs. So most of them have a preview.
Hold on. But if we were to take it more complex and we were to use and we were going to record Ask That on the keynote stage, so then it's me and somebody else, or somebody else and somebody else, and so that right there would be 3 cameras, like one on each person, and then one for both.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. I mean, that's just +1, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is the people that you have doing the video, they're doing the are they doing live stream already or no?
No.
Do they do that today?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Seth, when we did it years ago to Channel 9, Seth had a little device that I don't know, maybe it was a TriCaster, I don't know. He sucked off of their feed and then sent it up to Channel 9 and magic happened. But this year, right, it's about us, and I want it to be on Ask That, and I want us to push that up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can set up like the Ask That and those kind of things. I think are easy because you can just set a machine up with cameras, just a small mic switch so you have good audio, a little mixer, just a small mixer, and hook it up so you can have a couple mics. That's pretty easy, and then feed that into a laptop. That can be a laptop and just a couple cameras if you want a couple different angles, and then OBS, and it's you can make keyboard shortcuts so you can switch between cameras and have somebody just play drive. The Ask That I think is easy. I think that one we can solve really good. It's the rooms that get complicated when you start getting into and third parties that are running camera feeds, and you definitely don't want to interrupt their stuff that's recording if they're all feeding it into one box either. So they have to have enough equipment to have a clean feed out. So I mean, if you were going to look for a requirement for the keynote, it would be, hey, we want to be able to get a feed off of your system without interrupting any of your recording. So we need to get a HDMI out from you so we can throw it into a capture card to potentially, then you can sling it for streaming if you wanted to, your choice. We could, if we have enough video inputs on like a small desktop or something in the room, you could feed those in as separate camera feeds into OBS and do the live stream, and we have one person sit there, whoever it is, and have them switch between, somebody might volunteer their time or something for that.
Yeah.
But basically, then just play the switcher, right? And then I think the keynote's easier. Getting all the rooms would be hard. Maybe try a couple of rooms if we could, and then expand over years.
No, I'm fine with just doing it. I wanted to have the conversation, right? Because I didn't know if it was like one of those things where it's like, we can use a GoPro and we can take HDMI off of that and whatever, just like magically sling it across the room and everything's cool. So
I sort of actually want to research whether or not you could just hook up to the IP streams off the GoPros, because if you could do that, then you might be able to do something from a central machine. It might have to be beefy, but you might be able to do something from a central machine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I would certainly like to take more advantage of the mess hall. Although it's going to be hard, there's these periods in the mess hall where the wait staff is doing what they need to do because they've got to set up for the next, like after breakfast to go to lunch, right? They're bussing tables and trying to get that all set back up for lunchtime. And then after lunchtime, they're bussing tables and trying to get it set back up for the next thing that's happening. And,
yeah, but just reuse you could probably just reuse the main stage, right?
Oh,
could have some.
I would love to.
Just have some chairs up there, and you're shooting that way. And if you're using mics, you won't pick up much noise from off stage at all. You won't pick anything up probably off stage.
Oh, because because you're pointed up front. Yeah.
So then at that,
their lapel mics.
Yeah. So I mean, you could come in off of that, and then and have set up your streaming cameras right there on the edge of the stage, and whenever you want to do something live, you want to do an Ask That, you want to do some other type of interview thing, you could always just drop into the main stage when it's not being used and go.
Yeah.
Because then you get Keynote, and then you get your other sort of off to the side little episodes you want to do.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds like the path forward.
Yeah, I was just thinking IP cameras could potentially be a solution, but then you still don't have the solution for the slide decks and the audio.
Well, but if you can only have one stream.
No, I'm talking about the rooms. I keep going back to the rooms in my head on how could we do sessions, right?
Yeah.
How could you potentially do that? Now you got a problem for me to try to think about and try to figure out how to solve. When I'm not sleeping tonight, I will do that.
Yeah, that's a problem. You got to fix that.
Yeah. 2 to 4. If I get 2 to 4, I'm fine.
Jeez.
If I get less than that.
No way, man. Ever since I got off the Red Bull, man, if I don't get at least 6, man, I am unproductive. Like it's pointless. Which I don't know how I make it at that conference because I don't get any sleep whatsoever.
Yep.
Nothing but adrenaline. Well.
Yeah, let me think about the session rooms. I'll see if I can think of something around that and come up with an option. I think the Keynote and the main room is easier.
I mean, let's nail that room. Let's come up with whatever I need to like set this up, and if that's an investment in hardware that I can get a return on the next few years, whatever, that's fine as long as it's reasonable. I guess anything that I can do now to like get our stuff together and get that AV crew in line, if I need to tell them to get new cameras or whatnot, then I need to get them in line.
Yep. Yeah, we can get that going.
I know we kind of pushed them a little hard. I know they're not I don't know, we have crazy requirements. But then again, our crazy requirements aren't really that crazy.
Yep. Yeah. Not yet.
Yeah, there you go. Not yet. I know Matt's telling me, I don't know if he's still watching or not, but he's telling me he used to do a lot of AV switching when he worked in college. Could easily find AV switches.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Hey, sponsor, we need some switches.
We need a whole production setup.
We need a production setup and a crew. That would be awesome.
That's right. That's right. Because we're not going to do it.
Because we're not going to do it.
Yeah, I wish that was the case. All right, so what have you been doing on Twitch? Because I know you've been on Twitch. I know you just recently started on Twitch.
Yeah, just recently. One, it's been where I've been blowing off steam, right? Yeah, you work a long work day and then you want to blow some steam. Yeah. But I have a second project I've got to get started. I'm debating on if I wait till I move or if I do it now. But my boys and I are going to create a game together, and I want my concept is, I put a blog post about this, is I'm going to do it from ideation through creation, meaning I'm going to have my 9-year-old and 10-year-old boys sit down and draw on paper what they want to build as a game, and we're going to talk about different types of games, and we're going to record the entire creation process from start to finish and stream the whole thing live on Twitch. Because it fits the content that Twitch is doing all around gaming and everything else, and fits into the sort of in real life piece. And I think it'd be fun to watch okay, now I'm going into 3D modeling, and here's what I'm doing for this model, or 2D modeling, or whatever it is, depending on where we go. But and then I'm gonna let my boys try to write code at 9 and 10 as well, so they get to do some as well, and that'll be streamed as well.
So how are you going to manage the boredom piece of that? So I've often thought about doing quite the same, but nobody wants to watch me fumble around and curse at myself.
You want to know what? It's funny though, because I think people do actually want to watch that for some reason. Because just watching people play games, right? There's dull moments throughout a game stream even. There's
that much.
Not
like you're hold on, let me Google that while I figure out what the hell this API is.
There's people that I've already seen live streaming code, and they've got people watching them on a regular basis, and they're fumbling through the same problem. They're like, oh,
Really?
how's this work in JavaScript? And they're pulling up API documentation. And what's funny is the audience is participating because some of them are coders or they're interested in the process. And so it's almost like paired programming then.
Sure.
So you're not struggling by yourself. Your audience is chatting with you. You're being able to respond to them verbally. Someday they'll probably solve that problem where maybe you can get some people to pay more and they can do audio, like they can give you audio feedback.
Yeah.
Because the audience right now is all text, but
right.
But there's people that do that, and they find that pleasing for whatever reason. I mean, I know a local guy out of Milwaukee area who's currently streaming, and he works on open source projects at night, and so he streams himself working on open source and what he's fixing, and he's going through literally through issue trackers and fixing bugs for an open source project, and people are always on watching him. So
yeah, it's partly why I wanted us to record this right now, because I would really like to share more of the behind the scenes stuff that takes to make the sausage. I mean, people think you just show up and run it for 3 days, and it's like, it's 365 days a year to figure out how this goes. And what are we in? It's March right now, and I'm thinking about how to get a camera crew ready for August. It's redonkulous.
Yep. It takes people, time, and energy all year round.
So what camera are you using? What's the gear you got going on?
Yeah, so right now you're on a Logitech 930. That's the Carl Zeiss glass one. I actually have another camera on the other side over here. So I've got a couple cameras I'm running. I used to run
just because
mirrorless.
You have a lot of stuff, or are you using the other cameras too?
So the reason I got the other Logitech camera was I wanted to be able to do multiple angles. So for example, when I'm doing my boys, I'm going to have a camera facing down on the table.
Okay.
So it's going to be mounted to a tripod, and I'm going to be able to switch back and forth between scenes.
Okay.
So I wanted the ability to be able to switch cameras on the fly if I wanted to.
Okay.
So that's the main reason, because I was also doing some YouTube stuff before where I was just doing recordings, but I'd share them, where I was doing artwork on a pen tab. So I had a camera over top the pen tab so you could see my hand and what I was actually doing physically, not just my face and what's going on the screen. So that's the reason for multi-camera for me. It's to have those options for when, especially if I'm shooting two boys and they're at two different sides of a table, right? You may want to, I need I basically need video switching capabilities, and USB cameras are dirt cheap. Compared to buying a bunch of HD cameras.
Mine was like $300.
It's better than multi-$1,000 DSLRs.
That's true. Okay, that's fair.
So
I got my DSLR set up. I had it working, and while the depth of field is way better, I could not put that thing in a place that made it look natural. I think the webcam still wins in the location to making it appear like it's easy for me to look at the glass and be semi-focused on things, right? Whereas the DSLR is it's a little too high, or it's a little over this way, or it's a little over that way. And I just couldn't get it to work.
You just need a robotic camera guy. That's all you need.
Yeah. Go Gary V, just have guys recording me all the time.
Don't you have kids? That's what I use mine for all the time.
I don't think you understand, man. I don't have that kind of money.
I know.
All right, so that's your camera setup. What are you doing then? Yeah. What's up? You want to join? You can do that. Oh, you're not Facebook? No, we're on YouTube. Yeah.
We're.
All right, so that's video. What are you going to do then for audio?
I'm sitting. I have a Focusrite hooked up right now, which has two inputs on the front. I'm running a Audio Technica mic. I have a couple lapel mics too, and I have a small mixer, so I can do a premix into one input, and I can have one mic on and a separate input. So I've got a few options on mics because I've had mics over the years.
Sure.
I also have a Zoom X or Zoom H4n.
Yeah.
Which I have as well, which I can plug in 2 XLRs into, and then it has stereo mic on it as well. So that's for portable stuff. It's easy. And then feed that into just a laptop. I just got to make sure you get the premix right. Otherwise, you'll have one mic super hot and one mic super quiet, and it becomes a nightmare.
Yep.
So.
And then you're feeding, and then you're gonna feed that all back into your
into machine? either my laptop or my desktop, depending. If it's portable, I'll be on my laptop. And that'll be OBS then. Desktop, I use XSplit still because for Windows, XSplit to me just seems better for whatever reason. I paid for lifetime license to it already, so I've dropped enough money on it. So, but then I've got a bunch of like lights and soft boxes and stuff I have because lighting matters.
I was gonna say that was my next question for you right now is what lights you got on you?
Yeah, so right now I'm running some Limo Studio light kit. It was a couple $100 on Amazon. Came with 2 umbrellas, 3 light stands, and a bunch of bulbs I didn't like, so I switched them all out for LEDs. And then I bought a bunch of cheapo lights. Let's see if I can find one here. Boop. Oh, that's gonna be bright. Turn it off. Don't blind yourself. So I've got lights like this, just dirt cheap, little clip lights that you can buy at like Walmart or Home Depot or whatever, and use those for augmenting the light wherever I need it. So,
if I told you that right now we have all the lights off, well, I guess Carrie's got a light on over her desk, but this Brio is fantastic.
Yep.
As long as I close this back here, it'll No, you're fine. No. It'll readjust well enough that I'm lit. It'll get a little washed out. But I mean, it's still
So and then I've got a little portable green screen thing that's right behind me right now. I couldn't get my XSplit working as a video source for Skype yet. Otherwise, I was gonna have a backdrop behind me.
All right. So that was my next thing. So you're purely doing the green screen so that you can overlay on the game without seeing the rest of your stuff? Because people want to see your floating head on
just my Vim? Floating head on Vim. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, well, I think it's so, but the thing with like the live streaming platforms, right, is it's about becoming personal.
Sure.
It's not just about
I'm all about I agree. Like I'm all about the visual side of like you see the person.
Yep.
So XSplit is the thing cutting the green screen then out?
Yeah, it's got a built-in feature for chroma key. OBS does as well. So it'll cut the green out, or you can do a blue screen if you want, depending on if you need to. I've learned that drinking Mountain Dew with the green screen and chroma key on is interesting because your background then goes through your drink, which is hilarious when you forget about it.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like, look, I'm drinking whatever's behind me. So I mean, it just overlays. And it's live. I don't have to do anything. Software just does it all for me. I remember manually chroma keying once upon a time, and that was a nightmare. Software came so much further. So nowadays it's just all processed live. You don't even have to think about it too much. Big thing for that is lighting, though. It's you've got to have enough light on the background to make it as even as possible, or you get a little bit of fringe on it. So
it's quite impressive what you can do. I mean, this whole thing right now is just running off my MacBook, and like, I don't know. I think that's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm running amazing. 2 27-inch displays, a 4K camera. The only thing I had to do was get a new USB hub because I needed the higher bandwidth because the cinema displays or whatever they are, Thunderbolt displays, don't have enough juice. So
yeah, that's the one thing you run into when you start running multiple cameras is you've got to have enough power to the USB and enough bus. You run out of that, you'll have choppy feed, you'll have all that fun stuff. So I learned to plug straight into my desktop. So when I'm streaming on Twitch, I'm actually only on one box. I have my primary gaming machine is It's just a Windows 10 machine, solid state drives, 1080 Ti's, and I did say I's plural, because I run a few. But I use those for other things. They don't work for majority of the games you play. You only need one video card. When I initially started, I had one 1080 NVIDIA 1080, and that's it. And I was fine. I as long as I didn't broadcast to like 3 or 4 networks at once. If I did just Twitch and locally stored, I was fine. I didn't lose frame rate at all. So, but I don't have a second machine. I'm not making any money off Twitch in any fashion or form. Nor do I plan to. It'd be cool if I could, but
I assume people are.
Yeah, there's people that are. I mean, people are getting donations. They get, you set yourself up with either Patreon or there's a bunch of different like Streamlabs. They allow you to have a payment system where people can tip you. And you'll see people do overlays where like the highest tipper's on the screen, or they get to put a statement on screen.
Yes.
So they get to pay and then get their notoriety, right? So
yes, I have seen a bit of that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Bob, the guy that runs I Like to Make Stuff, and I think he's done a super, super good job of kind of bringing a Twitch stream to, I mean, it's down in his workshop. Like, it's pretty cool. I guess, if the people want to see me, just start firing it up. Just let it roll all day. Here I am. I haven't showered. I've got pants on.
The new video network will be watch me do invoicing.
That's right. This is what it looks like to ask a customer to actually pay you.
Yep.
This is what it looks like to fire a customer.
Yep.
That's cool. All right. Well, cool. I'm not going to keep you. It's Friday and there's drinks to be made, but yeah, let me know how we can set that keynote stage up to do the keynotes and to do Ask That Live, and
and
let's get rocking.
Yeah, and what we should do is we'll figure out some solutions. We should sort of do the making of. Maybe do a little expo on that, and we'll say, well, here's what we decided, here's where we went, and by the way, here's some video footage of us messing up wiring or something.
Yes, we started it today, right?
Yep, exactly. So
had to wait for you to get new internet, but hey, it's on you. Totally different topic, because I know you'll dig this. I got this in the mail today.
Nice.
Did you see that on Kickstarter?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. I don't.
Awesome.
I've got enough of these. I mean, I just thought his little video was pretty awesome, so I gave him the $15 to be successful.
Have you ordered your Raspberry Pi 3B Plus?
No. I did plunk down a few hundo on Particle's new stuff with the mesh network, because we need that for the big red buttons.
Cool.
We need to fix our networking issues through giant concrete walls and fabric covered walls.
We just didn't have walls.
Pretty, I mean, President says we need walls. We need walls, baby. We're gonna put walls around the walls.
We're gonna do an open spaces, like as in the whole place is open space. How about that?
Yeah. Hey, you don't know what might happen this year. There may be some changes to the old layout of the place.
There you go. A
little anticipation of what's to come when we get the other 150,000 square feet.
Nice.
Gonna have quite a bit.
Awesome.
We can fly drones around.
Will they let us do drone races?
Sure. Oh, yeah, totally let us do it. I mean, I guess we almost hit a light last year with that t-shirt cannon.
Oh, man.
That was kind of scary, actually. I don't have insurance for this, Scott. Stop firing. Put it down. Hit a person. Don't let that stuff drop onto people. All right, man. Hey, I appreciate it. Go play with your new internet.
I'll try.
You'll try. You'll do just fine.
I'll try. I will. I'll do fine.
How fast is it?
400 megs. So.
What's up speed?
I think I'm getting 100 right now, but I'm supposed to get more, so I'm doing trouble tickets.
Yep, I need to get mine upgraded. I got 100 down and 20 up or 30 up. That ain't enough.
Yeah, I went 60 by 5 to this, so we're still fine tuning the new router. So
what was modem. The cost difference?
Actually, I went down $40.
How?
Don't ask.
The hell?
We had a takeover here. So the company that took it over, because it's the old Time Warner that's now Spectrum. Yeah. And so I used to have a business line from Time Warner, and so I'm like I wheeled and dealed because I pay for a business class. So I'm like, nope, you gotta give me a deal. Not just getting me as a free customer.
That's kind of where we're at. We're at it's time to upgrade to a business line and get some more of the bits. It's not quite fast enough. I noticed the HD stuff dropped off when we got about halfway into this. I don't know if that means that the stream up on YouTube won't be it, or if it's just not live like that. I don't know.
Cool.
All right, man. Hey, have a good weekend. Drink some beers.
Yep. You too. Have a good one.
See you.